Hello friends, and welcome back to My Kitchen, My Rules. I understand that some of y'all have been missing the show, and I've still been making it. So I think right now, before you get settled down with your pencil and paper to get the ingredients, I think you're going to want to click like and you're going to click share and tell your friends and family that your friend Lee Brown is over here going to make some easy peasy cake for you today. And frankly, you got to get ready for Easter because we like to eat at Easter time, and I'm not really sure why all your big church holidays involve food, except that there's nothing better than a dinner on the grounds or a potluck. And I'm really hoping that I can get my church to do more of those because, I mean, there's just nothing better than eating somebody else's home cooking. And let's just have a discussion about that for a minute, because some of y'all seem to think you can stop and buy food for a potluck, and I think that's well, I think frankly that's cheating. So maybe you had ought not to do that. And if you're mad at me now, then welcome to My Kitchen, My Rules. So today, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm greasing up my bundt pan because we are gonna make a 5-ingredient pound cake. You heard me, 5 ingredients. Now, I did not say a healthy cake. I did not say sugar-free or keto or any of those things. I said 5 ingredients. So today is all about easy, controlling your ingredients, knowing what's in what you're making, and frankly, getting it in the oven. And speaking of that, let me cut my oven on 350. You know you want a 350-degree oven. So I am gonna flour my pan, and what you saw me doing, if you have not watched my earlier videos where I show you how to properly prepare a cake pan, there's a video over here somewhere that will show you. But I use Crisco because I don't like the spray stuff. It's too many chemicals in there. And then just a little light layer. I use a Ziploc bag to keep my hands from getting all covered up in the Crisco, although when it gets dry outside, I should probably be glad. And then we put a little bit of flour in, and then we just tap it around. And of course I do that over the sink because, as you know from watching my program, I do not like a dirty kitchen. And the worst thing that can happen to me is dropping flour in the floor. So get the excess out because you do not want lumps and bumps of flour on top of your cake. And there was a lump right there, so let's knock that out. All right. Now that my cake pan's ready, I'm gonna show y'all the ingredient list. So easy. Although I guess we'd have to say 6 ingredients if we count the Crisco, but it probably doesn't really count. All right, first up is butter. You need a pound of butter. So when I told y'all this was not a healthy recipe, I wasn't kidding. It's got a pound of butter in it. Salted or unsalted, you do you. It does not affect this recipe. So I'm going to use unsalted because I have it. And we're going to have it at room temperature. Now, if you did not know, your butter does not have to live in the refrigerator. So I got my room temperature butter, and we're just going to toss it in the stand mixer right here. And you don't actually want to melt this, so don't get tempted to melt it because it will not cream correctly if you do. But you also want to make sure it's not cold out of the refrigerator because then it won't cream at all. All right, so let's put our, now some folks will grease the pan with the butter paper. I've done that with certain recipes, but these particular ones from the food line don't have enough butter left on the paper to hold the flour, which is why I use my Crisco. And all right, there we go. 4 sticks of butter. Now you need 3 cups of sugar. And what kind of sugar? Do I really have to tell y'all? You know, we only around here, when I talk about controlling ingredients, that's why we use Dixie Crystals, y'all. It is pure cane sugar. And they've been around since 1917. They know how to do sugar. And I keep threatening to, I need to at some point do a video and show y'all the difference between Dixie Crystals and the others. And you will suddenly understand why Lee Brown only uses Dixie Crystals. Not just because that is what my grandmothers used and what I have always used, but because it is literally the best sugar. So you should buy Dixie Crystals. And if you want a coupon, by the way, now is a good time for you to click like again and put a comment down there that says, Lee Brown, I need some Dixie Crystals. And then we will send you a direct message and we'll send you a coupon, get you a bag of sugar. And that was 5 law. I'm gonna be counting my sugar while I'm talking here. And 6. All right, so that's 3 cups of sugar. You with me so far? A pound of butter, 3 cups of sugar. Now we're gonna cut the mixer on at a nice low level until it is creamed and smooth. Next up, 9 eggs. Now, I know that when you're using grocery store eggs, they're all gonna be that large size. I'm using home eggs. And when you're using home eggs, you're gonna have different sizes. So I make sure that I've got larges, but because I do have some smalls because of my phoenixes, if I use all smalls, I'll use 10, but if I'm using my regular larges, I'll use 9. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the larges today. Let's go with egg number 2. All right. Nice low here. And I'm gonna mix after every 2 eggs just to keep it from being a big old jumble of liquid and allow it to distribute pretty well. Let's grate down the sides. Got all of our 9 eggs in here. Got out that little bit of shell that jumped away. That's just life cooking. All right, now we've got 3 ingredients in. If y'all were keeping up with the home game, you had a pound of butter, 3 cups of sugar, and 9 eggs, which I guess that's probably a pound of eggs. Maybe we're gonna understand now the whole pound cake thing. And now we need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And of course, as you know, we use white lily around here. Same thing I gotta do with Dixie Crystals. I've got to show y'all the difference because it is wild. All right, so I'm gonna mix in my flour 1 cup at the time so that A, it does not run all over the kitchen, and B, it will mix in very smoothly on my low setting here. Now remember, you don't need self-rising, and that's one thing that people get confused about with these recipes, but the eggs do the job. So you have to remember that cooked eggs take on a life of their own when they've got the flour and the butter, and that's mixed in. So let's add another cup of flour. Now you don't have to sift it for pound cake either. There are some fancier cakes that like to be sifted so you get the air in there, but this one, you don't have to. And now, if you're the person who's thinking, yes, I don't have to sift flour, that's another good time for you to give Lee Brown a like and a comment, because we are trying to beat these algorithms that have been hiding my videos from y'all. Okay, there's 1 more cup, and we are on the home stretch. The oven just beeped, so we're at 350 and ready to go. Now, some of y'all are probably thinking, man, that batter looks so yellow, and that is because home eggs have brighter yolks, and we're very excited about these eggs that we have. I swear I could cook with eggs all the time now that I have the best eggs on the planet. And if you happen to be local to my area, we do sell our extra eggs, and so you should send me a direct message and I will hook you up. In this weird food economy that we're in right now, you'll be surprised at the difference if you've never had them. All right, there's our 3 cups of flour. Let's go ahead and mix that in on a low number here. So now we're gonna add our 5th ingredient. And the 5th ingredient today is almond extract. Now I use vanilla all the time. Last time I fixed it, I used lemon. And actually I've used Meyer lemons in this before. Oh, I'm out of lemon, well, there we go. You get a tablespoon or thereabouts. And my friend David has these Meyer lemons. If you watched some of my earlier videos with lemons, they were so good that I put them in the pound cake. Ooh, it smells good. But truly, you can use any extract you want, whether it's orange, almond, lemon. I don't know that I'd use cake batter flavoring because that feels weird to put that in your pound cake, but you do you. And we're just gonna get that mixed in. Do not overmix it. This is a very important rule with your pound cake, because if it gets too dense for you, it could be because you've been mixing too long. So see how smooth that batter is? That's what we're looking for, is that consistency right there. That's it, y'all. Literally 5 ingredients. Now we're gonna pour it into our prepared bundt pan. All right, let's just pour this right into our prepared pan here. All right, you actually don't have to move the batter around. I just move the batter around because I want to make it pretty before I put it in the oven. All right. All right. All right, we're gonna leave it in the oven for around an hour, or whenever a fork comes out, or whenever a knife comes out clean-ish. Now I say clean-ish because if your knife comes out completely clean, you might overcook it. You actually want a few little speckles on it because it's gonna keep cooking in the pan for a few minutes, because a dense cake doesn't turn out of the pan right away. And for me personally, I love my sad streak down at the bottom of my pound cake. So when I pull out my knife, it's gotta have a couple speckles so that as it sets, I get that good moist streak down at the bottom. So I will see y'all in about an hour and a half, and we will have a beautiful, easy peasy pound cake. Remember I told you you're looking for a sad streak? That's what it looks like. That little moist part down at the bottom, best part of the pound cake. You'll never get it from Sara Lee. You only get it when you make it at home. And by the way, yeah, I keep my cake in my good old Tupperware container because nothing beats that. I hope you enjoyed this 5-ingredient. Let me know what you use for your 5th. And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can come back and hang out with me in my kitchen anytime.